Peace, family. Y'all come on in. Peace, peace, peace. We are going to dive into this Roe v. Wade, to this recession energy. We are going to tap in with this Cancer New Moon. We are just going to figure out what all of this energy is, what it all means, how does it relate, how is it relevant to you as a spiritual being. Peace, Iman. We gotta have a talk, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta have a talk. I'm glad to be here to talk about it. So as you come on in, make sure you say hey, say what's up, like the video, share the video, because I plan on coming from a perspective that may be, just different. And so I want to talk about it. Before I talk about it, I got this healing mantra deck because it's always so good. It's always so good. And I truly feel that we have entered a new realm, a new world. We've entered a new realm. We've entered a new world. And it's a world, and we're living in a time where you really have to know your magic. It's a time where you really have to know what makes you divinely you, and you have to know how you tap in, how you tune in, how you get answers, and how you get shit done, right? Obviously, this is how we've always should have been living, okay? But I want to tell y'all that it is so essential right now for us to have a certain level of understanding over our mind, a certain level of understanding over our emotions, a certain level of understanding over our behaviors. And we got to make sure that we are disciplined, deliberate, and vigilant when it comes to how we are showing up and how we are living on a daily basis. We have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that we are always making choices. And the choices that we are making are either serving our highest good, connecting us deeper to ourselves at the soul level, or they are pulling us away. Okay? So in this space and time, it's so important for us to understand that. And it is so important for us to just make decisions and make choices on a daily basis that are in alignment with what we are seeking and searching to experience. All right? We got this Roe versus Wade shit going on with the making of abortions illegal. We got this recession talk happening, right? We are in this Cancer energy right now. We just came into the Cancer energy. So we got a lot going on concerning feminine energy, concerning the power of the woman and the choices that she's making, right? So before I get into it any deeper, I want to pull one of these healing mantra cards because I want to know from spirit. I trust spirit, right? I trust, and I've here's the thing. I've had some dreams, like the dreams that I had last night were so profound. The dreams that I had last night were profound. And so I'm just referring to these cards because there's going to be some level of correspondence between what happened in my dreams and and just letting the energy flow. All right. I'm using the Ganesha spray to cleanse these cards. Ganesha spray to cleanse them. And yeah, Spirit, what's up with this new world energy, with this Cancer New Moon energy, with this Roe versus Wade energy? What is it that we need to know? What is it that we need to understand about this space and time right now? Why is it important to spiritual beings? I think that's something that we also have to think about in these spaces and times when we're hearing about recessions and we're hearing about Roe versus Wade. We're hearing about all of these things. Okay. We're hearing about all of these different things. And I think as spiritual people, we have to understand that we are not the same as the masses. And I think sometimes we can get so caught up in the conversation, so caught up in what is being publicized, that we give up our power, our innate ability to create what it is that we desire, what it is that we want to experience. Now, when it comes down to this Roe versus Wade situation, I 100% understand. That's an energy right there. I 100% understand that for a government to remove power, the power to choose, that is an issue. But I can always see things from both sides of the coin. And I think as spiritual people, that's what you have to be able to do. Okay. As spiritual people, you have to be able to see both sides of the coin. So yes, with them, passing this law, making termination of a baby illegal. Yes, with them passing this law, is stripping women of their power to choose what happens with their body, and that's a major issue. But let's think about and let's contemplate on how this can be something beneficial in the spiritual sense. Okay? I already know the political white supremacist perspective of it all. I already understand that, white people's I don't even like to use the word white people. It doesn't even fully encompass what we're talking about. But I already understand that this group of people's extinction, right? And this is not me coming from because I don't care. These are not things that I spend time thinking about and dealing with, okay? So I want to make that clear. I want to make that clear to anybody who makes contact with this video now or later. I do not spend my time thinking about, white supremacy. I don't spend my time thinking about government. I don't spend my time thinking about politics. These are not things that I am engaged with. I'm really just on here having a conversation with spiritual women and spiritual brothers. So I want to really make that clear. But on one level, we do understand that for a certain community, making abortion illegal is what's going to allow that community to grow and to expand and to increase their numbers. Okay? So I want to be clear about that. I want to be clear about that part. Okay? Iman said that part, the accuracy. All right? I don't spend my time consumed and concerned with any of this stuff, right? But what I feel like on a spiritual level when it comes to this is that this forces women to be in tune with their bodies. This forces women to choose men who are in alignment with what they would want their children, their lineage, their bloodline to experience. See, that's it. Too many times we have been careless with our bodies. Too many times we've been careless about who we connect with because we have so much unresolved trauma. because we are so disconnected from ourselves on a divine sacred level. Okay? And I get it. I get it. And it's why I do what I do. I do what I do so that I can help women to reconnect to who they are on a divine sacred level. And so that I can teach women and show women that you can manifest sacred partnerships, sacred relationships that add value to your life, to where you bring forth children who will be everything that you ever wanted to be and more. It is 100% possible to create generational blessings. All right? But so often in so many relationships, and this is why, to me, we got to shift our perspective. Let's not think about what this is taking away from us, but let's think about how this is adding to us. It's the only way to go about this thing. Listen, spiritual people. Spiritual people. Whatever you focus on grows and expands. Whatever you focus on, you birth, you create. And so are you going to focus on the perspective of they are taking away women's rights and women are still going to go out and have abortions illegally, and this may cause them to harm themselves and harm the baby. This is going to cause more harm than good. Whatever you focus on, that is what will grow. I am choosing in this time to be an advocate to teach women that they are in control over their bodies. Okay? And even if a woman became pregnant, through communication with her body, through communication with that spirit, with that soul that is seeking to be birthed from her, she has the power to communicate with love that this may not be the time for life to be birthed through her. Okay? I've personally had this experience. I had an experience with Dream shortly after we had our first child, KJ. And my cycle was late. And for me, in my spirit, it wasn't the time for us to have another child, right? This was not me moving from a state of fear. This is just a space of knowing. And so here's what I did. I went into the closet, right? Everybody, if you ever grew up in any like churchy religious background, you know when they say you go to the closet, that's when you taking your issues, you're taking your problems, you going into the darkness, you're going into the subconscious mind. You are going to go have a conversation with God. And so that's what I did. I went into one of our meditation room at the time, and it was nighttime, pitch black darkness. And I went in that room, closed the door, quiet, and I just poured out my heart. I communicated to my body. I communicated because I knew that there was a spirit, a soul trying to come through at this time. And I put my hands over my womb space and I communicated and I said, I love you. I thank you. Thank you for choosing us at this time, right? Thank you for wanting us to be your parents. But this is not the time. And so I'm telling you now to go back, right? And I had to have a heart to heart. How many of you know that before babies are born, before babies come through, before babies enter your womb space, there's already conversation and communication that is taking place? Okay? There's already conversation and communication that is taking place. There's already agreements that are being made. And so in that moment, I spoke to that child, I spoke to that baby, and I said, look, you got to go back. And without taking anything, without going to no doctors or anything, that cycle came. Now, some of y'all some people, I'm not going to say y'all because y'all my people, y'all my family, but some people from the outside looking in may hear me say that and be like, nah, you really didn't conceive. you really weren't pregnant. It didn't happen. But I want to let you spiritual people know that you have the power to determine what you experience and when you experience it. You have the power to choose. And so you have to first accept the authority that you have over your own life. So I choose in this space and time to see this situation, to see this circumstance as an opportunity for women to connect with themselves and to connect with the authority that they have over their own lives. Government been creating laws that are bullshit. That's old news, right? They've been doing things like that. But when you know your magic, no state, no government can stop you from doing what is in your own best interest. Okay? But you have to know the power that you have, and you have to create, and you have to connect, and you have to know what your magic is. This is just what it boils down to. I choose to see it that way. Not only that, I had a dream last night because I was, as a spiritual being, as an empath, we can tune into a lot. We can tune into a lot of energy. And one thing that I know for sure is that there are many women out there who've had abortions, who have regret, who have shame, who have resentment. Yeah, shout out to Miss Blue. Know your magic. That's her all day. Another person that has been really preaching that rhetoric and really putting that energy out there is Priestess Aset. Because that's what it is right now, family. You have to be in the study of self. You have to be in the study of you and where your power lies and where your strength lies and where your capabilities are. When you know that, oh, you a bad woman, or you a bad brother. All right? Yeah, these cards came out. We're going to talk about it. All right? So, I know that there are a lot of women who experience, some of those emotions and really need to forgive themselves. Let's go ahead and talk about that. This conversation, this law being passed is a very triggering one. Okay? Because I've personally known women who've gotten abortions, and then when they wanted to become pregnant, they struggled. That's heavy. So I think in this space and time, it's so important for us to have so much grace, to have so much mercy, to have so much understanding upon ourselves. But in my dream last night, one of my old friends, I haven't talked to her in years, her name is actually Desiree too. And we met each other while I was pregnant with KJ. Okay, so that was, 7 years ago. That's when we met each other. And she was in my dream last night. I hadn't dreamt about her or even thought about her in a very long time. But she was a couple of years older than me at that time while I was pregnant with him. And she really wanted to have children, and she really wanted to be a mother. And she really wanted to have a relationship. And for a long time, she struggled in her relationships. And last night, I saw her in my dream, and she was holding a baby, but it wasn't her baby. It wasn't a baby that she birthed. Okay? It wasn't a baby that she birthed. And so I think that's another powerful thing that can come out of this experience. A lot of women, for whatever reason, who have not been able to conceive and birth children through themselves, through their own vessel, through their own bodies, will now have the opportunity to be mothers. Okay? Just because you don't carry the child and birth the child does not mean that you are not a mother, that you are not capable of being a mother. This is a major thing that I need a lot of you sacred sisters to get into your spirit. Some of you Okay, cards. You like, okay, hold on. Some of you should have some gratitude for this new law that has been passed, because you've been wanting to be a mother. You've been wanting to have children. And now, given this new circumstance, there are going to be so many women who do not feel like they have the skill, who do not feel like they have the fortitude to raise a child, and you will then have that opportunity. That's just what Spirit channeled to me last night through that dream. Okay? So again, it's all about what you are choosing to focus on, and understanding that what you are focusing on, that is what will grow and that is what will expand. And I want to tell y'all that there are so many women out there who want to have children. There are even men out there who want to have children. But for some reason, there has been a blockage there. Right? So of course there's spiritual work that has to be done. All right? Maybe because of past life trauma. Maybe because of past life beliefs and things that has taken place in a past life that has caused a woman or a man to have to lack the ability to give forth and to birth life. But with this new law passing, these people are still going to have the ability to raise a child from infancy. Okay? So again, I choose to focus on the benefit of this thing. I want y'all to understand, I get it. No one should have the ability to say, you can't do this or you should do this with your own body. But at the same time, and this is no judgment at all, but I want us as spiritual people to start to learn to take responsibility for what we do. Take responsibility for how we are showing up in relationships. Becoming pregnant is such a beautiful thing, right? And most of the time, there are medical conditions that call for the termination of a child. So that's just jacked up that they've made this decision. But a lot of times, people are making the decision not to have a child because, one, they're unhappy with the parent who they've conceived the child with. Two, they don't feel financially stable or financially capable of providing. Three, they already got so many other children that they don't know how they're going to provide for another life. So there's so many things that go into why a woman would choose not to have a child. A lot of these things are within our control. Okay? A lot of these things are absolutely within our control. We get to choose who we have a child with. Now, of course, we have the outliers and people who've experienced sexual abuse, people who've experienced things like that, and they become pregnant through that experience. So, of course, we also have that. And I feel that in those moments, there's going to have to be some type of adjustment. But at the same time, if we're looking at this thing from a very deep spiritual place, we have to understand that there are no mistakes. I know that's hard to accept, right? Y'all let me know. Let me know in the chat. It's really difficult to embrace the idea that everything happens for a reason. It's difficult to embrace that idea and discipline yourself to find the reason, and to find the benefit, and to find the power, to find how this thing actually serves you as a spiritual being. It's not easy to do, but you have to be deliberate about doing that. All right? I kind of want to move on from that topic because it's such a deep one. But here's some cards that came out when I asked Spirit the question. This is what I was just talking about. I find strength in my traumas. I find strength in surviving my traumas. See what I'm talking about? I literally just told y'all that we all have experiences that are traumatic. We all have experiences that cause us to shift, that cause us to change, that cause us to expand. But we have to discipline ourselves to understand how those situations are serving us. We have to figure out how to find strength in those traumas. Okay? I help women do that on a daily basis. Here's another card that came out. It says, I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. I take the time to give myself all the approval that I desire. I love that. Hey, you silly. The 8th kid you have is going to be that LeBron James. Hey. One of them got to come back and be the genius. One of them got to come back and be the all-star. One of them got to come back and be great and do something amazing. And the reality is that they're all amazing in their own way. Okay? Listen, Dream and I, babe, we got to make sure that we are, we being deliberate in everything that we do, because I love children. And being a mother was one of my only goals that I had growing up as a child. A lot of people grow up and they say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a basketball player, I want to do this. My only thing was I wanted to be a mother. That was it. I just wanted to be a mother. And so with that being like what has been ingrained within me, I have to be deliberate about, my intimacy, and make sure that I'm tracking and make sure that I'm having that conversation with my body. And I think that's a beautiful thing that comes about from this experience. Ladies, you have to learn to connect with your body. You have to learn to connect with that divine feminine energy. And here's the thing about that divine feminine energy. There's a dark side to it and there's a light side to it. Within that divine feminine energy, you have the power to create and you also have the power to destroy. Right? This is where the goddess Kali comes in. She's destructive. She's tearing shit up. And it was that energy that I had to tap into on that dark, lonely night when I had to communicate with my body and say, look, now is not the time. Okay? But I want you ladies and I want you brothers to understand that when life is being given, there's always an opportunity for healing, for growth, for expansion, right? On a karmic level, from a past life level, you have the ability to transform your DNA through the life that you are bringing forth. And so this is the shift that we have to take when it comes down to how we are perceiving this Roe versus Wade situation. And that does not mean that every life that is born, you have to care for. See, on the Sunday service for Father's Day, Michael Bell said, we have to also appreciate the absentee fathers. We have to also learn to appreciate the absentee mothers, because you never know how their presence may affect you, how their presence may affect your upbringing. It is very much so possible that your father being present or your mother being present could have done more damage than them not being there. Okay? So when we're looking at this thing, we have to start looking at it from a very spiritual perspective. And in this situation right now, we have such a powerful opportunity. We have such a powerful opportunity to connect more deeply with our magic, to connect more deeply with our bodies, to connect more deeply with our astral bodies. Because it is that astral energy that is communicating with these souls who are dwelling in the astral plane, who are seeking and asking to come back and be birthed. This space and time right now is really calling us to be self-governed. Forget the government. How are you governing yourself? How are you choosing who you are being intimate with? How are you communicating with your body? How are you talking to your ladies? Ooh, this is a good one. How are you talking to your body when it's time for ovulation? Y'all better come on. Hold on, let me see something. Like, we have this power. We have this ability. Brothers, you should know when your woman is ovulating. There's a certain energy, there's a certain pheromone that is present during that time. So here's the thing. I want to ask y'all this question. Spiritual brothers and spiritual sisters, are y'all concerned about yourselves, or are you concerned about the masses? Are you concerned about yourselves, or are you concerned about the masses? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, delete these spammers, these people doing whatever they're doing. I just saw a pink dragonfly, y'all. Beautiful. Answer the question for me, family. Are we concerned about ourselves, how this affects us as individuals, or are you concerned about how it affects the masses? How it affects the majority? Which one? Here's what I need y'all to understand. Anything that happens on this physical realm, it first started in the spiritual realm. I'm concerned about myself and sometimes the masses, to be honest. Myself. All right. Thank y'all for answering that. So with this Roe versus Wade, you ladies are saying that you are concerned about yourselves, meaning you're concerned about if you were to become pregnant, would you have the choice? Okay? Am I getting that right? Right? Like, if you were to become pregnant, not having the choice is a concern for you. Is that what I'm hearing, ladies? Correct me if I'm wrong, please. If I were to become pregnant, not having the choice, being forced to have a child. Let me know in the chat, because I want to know. I want to talk about it. Because for me personally, no, that's not a concern for me. Exactly. I don't believe in abortions. I have 5 boys. Oh, shit. She said, it is what it is. I'm having them babies anyways. I love it. And that's the power that we have. You get to choose. You get to choose what it is that you experience. And that's what I want really for the women in my community to understand. Is that in everything that you do, you have a choice. You are choosing the partner. You are choosing your children's fathers. You are choosing who you decide to relate with. We got to take ownership. And we have to understand why we choose the way that we choose. Why we do the things that we do. What are the lessons that these children, that these men, what are the lessons that they are serving to teach us? And when we get that lesson, when we understand that lesson and we do the work, we no longer have to create and we no longer have to repeat cycles that are not in alignment with our divine sacred self. I like that, Selena. I like that. I 100% agree with that. And you know what? They've been doing this shit for forever. Right? They've been doing this stuff for forever. Okay? They continue to try to play games like that. But you have to understand that when you incarnated in this realm, you were a sovereign being. All right? So I understand, those choices being taken away and not having, see, and that's the thing. It's like this overarching energy of not being able to choose. But here's what I know and understand is that there are so many countries where women do not have these choices. Don't have the choice to work. Don't have the choice of what she decides to wear. There are so many countries where women don't have these choices naturally. They're born into a world where their choices are limited. You don't get to choose who your husband is. You don't get to choose, who you have children with. You don't get to choose what profession you live in. You operate in, right? So this happens on so many levels. It's been happening since the beginning of time. Even if we go back to like the Bible times, there's a verse in the Bible that says, if a man rapes a woman who is engaged or who is about to become a wife, if he rapes her, she still has to die. She has to die because she was infiltrated. She has to die because she was exploited. She has to die because she is no longer pure. So this rhetoric of women not having choices, this rhetoric of women not being in their power has been it's been that way since the beginning of time. But what I want us to understand is that you always have a choice. No matter what they say, you always have a choice. Who gives a fuck? You always have a choice. And the choice is going to come through you choosing to know yourself. The choice comes through you choosing to know what your magic is. You choosing to understand that as a divine sacred woman, you get to communicate with your body. You get to know and feel and understand what is happening within you. Okay? You know what is happening within you. You can feel what is happening in you. Here's the trick. Do you trust what is happening within you? Peace, beauty for ashes, JP. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. The question is, do you trust the communication that your body is giving you? See, a lot of times in this spirituality and on this spiritual path, people forget about the body. And you don't understand that the body is just as divine as the spirit. The body is just as divine as the mind. They're all working together. It's all working together. Right? So I be knowing. I be like, baby. It's the fertile window. I be doing that shit without looking at an app, without tracking days. I feel it. You ladies should know this. In them times where you like, ooh, you feeling a little extra frisky. You probably in that fertile window, sis. You feeling a little extra frisky and a little extra moist. Let's go ahead and talk about it. You feeling extra frisky, extra moist. If you don't want to have a child, discipline yourself. Ladies have to discipline their sexual energy too. Ladies, we have to discipline our sexual energy too. The same way we'll tell men, have control over your lower nature. The same way we'll tell men, you got to pull back. You got to hold your seed, control yourself. Women, we got to do the same exact things. Especially when it comes down to whether we want to or not conceive a child. You got to be deliberate. You got to be vigilant. You got to know your own magic. And you have to also know that if it happens, because sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes things will align where you'll ovulate twice in a month. And you'll just know because you just feel it. Okay? Understand, even in those moments, you, the soul, you can communicate with your body intuitively. Not only that, you can communicate with the souls and with the spirits that want to connect with you. You can communicate to them. Right? For example, our daughter Kimmy, I knew she was coming. Okay? I knew she was coming. I wanted her to come. I was communicating to her. This is what happened. My cycle was late, right? My cycle was late. And I took a pregnancy test, right? Came back, not pregnant. I took multiple pregnancy tests. This shit said, not pregnant. I was crying, y'all. I was so heartbroken. I remember I was cooking dinner I was cooking dinner, and I was like, okay, babe, I'm gonna take this pregnancy test. And I put the pregnancy test on the counter, and I'm cooking dinner, and I'm really excited because I want to be pregnant. I want to have another baby at this time. And I looked at that pregnancy test. It said not pregnant. I just cried. And I remember Dream coming in the kitchen and him just hugging me. That was such a very sweet moment, which is crazy because I never thought that I would have a moment like that to where I wanted to be pregnant and I wasn't. I didn't think that I would have it. I just didn't think that that would happen to me, because I grew up in a culture where most of the time it's women getting pregnant and they don't want to be. You nervous about that pregnancy test, and it come back pregnant, and you having an internal battle with yourself, and you like, damn, I'm pregnant, shit. And then you finally get to this point to where you're like, all right, you know what? Babies are blessings. I can do this. We can do this. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it work. This is happening for a reason. Just being real. Damn, Bucks. Just being real about it, right? And so with Kimmy, first time came back not pregnant. This was in I want to say it was like November 2020 or something like that. And at that moment, I had made the decision. I had said, okay, I'm not going to just leave us getting pregnant and conceiving another child. I'm not going to leave it up to happenstance, because the emotion that I felt not being pregnant, I realized, wow, I really want to have another child. This is something that is really in my heart. So I'm going to be deliberate. I'm going to be vigilant. I'm going to be on my shit. And so I put the stipulations in place. I communicated to this soul that wanted to come through me. I said, you know what? This is what's going to happen. I said, when mommy is ovulating, mommy and daddy have to orgasm at the same exact time. Cosmic bomb type shit. If we orgasm at the same time while I'm in the fertile window, I already know I'm going to be pregnant. That's literally what I said to the spirit. I said, if I'm in the fertile window and mommy and daddy is getting it, and mommy come first and daddy come second, that ain't the time. That's not the time. That's not the time to come through. You're going to come through when mommy and daddy is getting busy and it's happening at the same damn time. I put that out there because I wanted to create a cosmic bomb. This baby is going to come through in ecstasy, in bliss, in divine sacred union between mom and dad, masculine and feminine. That is the stipulations that I had put in place. And so we ended up conceiving in February of 2021. We ended up conceiving in February 2021. This is how I know exactly to the day when I got pregnant with Kim, because those stipulations that I put in place were met. Okay? Ovulating. I remember, y'all, let me tell y'all how corny Dream and I are, right? My mom asked to babysit the kids. And I was like, okay, cool, you're gonna babysit the kids, whatever. I knew I was in the fertile window. And trust me, I wasn't conscious about this though. I wasn't like, ooh, I'm in a fertile window, let's get busy tonight. No, I had already put it out there. I don't have to be conscious about it. I've already put it into the realms. That's something that y'all need to understand about spirit. When you already make something known, when you make a conviction and you stand on it, you gotta let it go and let it flow. So I already had put it out there. I already said what it was going to be. I let it go from my conscious mind. So my mom is like, okay, we're going to babysit the kids. We're going to babysit KJ and Cara. Cool. I love to dance. I love to sing, right? I'm really an holistically. Love dancing, love singing, right? And so this is when Cardi B's song came out, Up. Y'all remember, if it's up, then it's, all of that good stuff. And so my goofy ass, right? I said I want to learn the dance steps to that song, right? It was very popular at that time to learn those dance steps, right? So I had went in the room. The kids were already gone to mama's house, right? I had on like some lingerie or something. I had went in the room and I had learned those dance steps. And then I said, okay, babe, I'm about to put on a performance for you. I'm about to put on this Cardi B Up for you. Y'all, I come out there and I'm doing this up shit. I'm doing the whole routine or whatever. And Dream is so accepting of this. He is laughing with me. He telling me I did a good job. He is just like, yeah, babe, you did that. Like he is bigging me up, right? Even though I felt a little bit goofy in some of the if it's up, all of that shit, right? And so he is bigging me up and he is just smiling and he is just so happy that I am putting on this show and I learned this choreography. And so that night, I was feeling so much love. I was feeling so much appreciation. We were manifesting that night. So happy and so grateful that he let me be my goofy self, right? And so we got intimate, right? We did what we do. But there was a lot of spiritual synchronicities that took place that night that I got to talk to Dream about. A lot of spiritual synchronicities that were happening. Man, listen. I'm going to have to tell this to the Patreon family. Listen, because it gets deeper, right? Because even when we were intimate, Spirit was aligning the stars. Spirit was aligning for us to conceive life. Because literally we were both channeling during the act. We were both channeling. I cannot wait to remind Dream about this whenever I get off of this call, whenever I get off of this live and talk to him about it. But in Patreon tomorrow, we're talking about sexual vitality. If y'all are not a part of the Patreon, every Wednesday and every Saturday, we go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we just have a build with the Patreon family on Zoom. So tomorrow we're talking about sexual vitality, and tomorrow I'm going to tell the Patreon family how you can spiritually channel while you are being sexually active with your partner or whatever. So in that moment, though, Dream had me feeling so much love. He said he was trying to get some whatever. I was feeling good. He was feeling good. And cosmic bomb, boom. The very next month, that was February. The very next month, we went to Mexico, had us a good time in Cancun. I was also doing womb alchemy at that time. I was doing the womb alchemy course at that time. But then we came home. My cycle was missed, took the pregnancy test, was pregnant. Now we have baby Kim. I say all of that to say and to let you ladies know that you are the sovereign being over your body and you get to choose when you decide to bring life and when you don't. Okay? But you have to have the spiritual mindset. You have to have that spiritual authority. You have to know that you are capable of doing that. I knew that I was capable of choosing when a child was going to come through, and I'm also capable of choosing when a baby is not coming through. And so like right now, we got a 6-month-old, almost 7-month-old, and honey, I'm very vigilant. I could be feeling frisky. Dream could be feeling frisky, but I'm like, I can feel it. Now's not the time. So we have that power, okay? We have that power to choose, ladies. Now, this makes me segue directly into this Cancer energy, right? We're in the Cancer New Moon energy. And so what this is talking about is that mothering energy, is that nurturing energy. And so what I need you ladies to do right now, I need you to really tune in to nurture and mother yourself. I need you to tune in, nurture, and take care of your household. I need you to put forth that energy into your sacred space. Your home is your sacred space. Your home is where you are creating life. And not just physical life like birthing a child, but in your home, this is where your business may be flowing from. This is where you are creating health and well-being within your body. This is where you are, creating and manifesting love. And so with this Cancer New Moon energy, I need you ladies to be deliberate about pouring love into your space. So what are some ways that we do this? One, you need to tap into your feng shui. Fold all of them clothes that you got just sitting in that basket. Man, Dream and I just cleaned out our refrigerator and our freezer. Threw away a whole bunch of food that we were not eating, that was not serving us, that was old, that was bad. Get rid of it. Let it go. Okay? I need y'all to water your plants. Talk to your plants. All right? I need you ladies to understand that you are powerful, that you are divine, that you are sacred, and that you have a divine sacred mission and reason for being here right now. All right? And when you understand that, you will never let no jab, because we're not going to act like this whole choice thing just started right now. You know, when we were forced to be in our house in 2020, our choices were taken away from us right then and there. When they said you cannot work unless you put this stuff in your system, your choices were taken away right there. And now this Roe versus Wade situation, choices are being taken away again. The same way you made it through that by standing on your own 2 feet, the same way you made it through that by choosing what you were going to do that was in alignment with your highest good, that was in alignment with your well-being, that was in alignment with what your spirit and what your soul was calling forward for you. The same way you made it through that is the same way you'll make it through this right now. It's the same way you'll make it through what they're calling the oncoming of a recession. But I want you to understand that you absolutely must start to invest in yourself. Invest in your home. Invest in your health and well-being. Challenge yourself. How can you show more love to you? How can you discipline yourself to show up consistently as your best self? Are you listening to the guidance that has been given to you? There's a very powerful energy right now that I was telling this to the Sacred Sister Circle. We are being called to strike while it's hot. What do I mean by that? Right now is a great opportunity for us to be making connections with people who are going to support us in manifesting our goals, in manifesting our dreams. Okay? And so right now is a great time for you to do whatever it is that you got to do. Stop sleeping on yourself. Right? A lot of y'all are quote unquote woke. Well, I'm telling you, it's time to wake up again. Wake up. Do what you got to do. Take the action. Move. This is the time of movement. Don't worry about the stillness. Well, you always need to make time to be still. That's an everyday. But as the seasons change, there'll be a time where you got to be really quiet. You got to be very introverted. Right now is the time for you to tap a little bit, to lean into that extroverted energy. For you to see how you can love, how you can nurture, how you can care for yourself and for others. All right? Right now is the time for you to choose how you are going to show up emotionally. Here's what I mean. Right? Here's what I mean. Dream and I had a very active weekend. This weekend was my best friend's birthday. She turned 30 and we celebrated. She had a pool party, and then on that same night, she had us out at this lounge, and Dream and I, we don't go out. Like we don't go out. We don't do parties. We don't do a lot of people. A lot of times we just stay to ourselves. We're with our kids in our backyard, at home. A lot of times we're here. We're at home. We're taking care of business, and we're talking to y'all, right? We're on Patreon, and we're doing courses, and that's what we do. But this weekend, we were very extroverted, very out there, very engaging with a lot of people. And so our house, them dishes suffered, right? We didn't wash no dishes this weekend, and the sink was just full of dishes. And I was annoyed, y'all. Ladies, I'm looking at these dishes like, fuck. fuck, I do not feel like washing these dishes. But I told myself, my spirit, my higher self came through and was like, you don't got to feel like that. This is your home. This is your safe space. This is your place. And when these dishes are clean and everything is straightened up and organized, you are more at peace. You are more in tune. You are more connected with yourself. So having to wash these dishes is not a burden. Having to clean out this refrigerator is not a burden. It's a good thing. It's a powerful thing. And so I had to lean out of the annoyance and lean into everything that is going to come from having a space that is clean, that is flowing, that is open, that is airy. So why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that, ladies, because there are some things in your house that are calling for your attention. Maybe it's your countertop in your bathroom. Maybe you got your makeup and your hair products and all of that everywhere, right? Maybe it's your office. Maybe you got books and papers and pens and everything all spread out everywhere. Maybe it's your kitchen and them dishes need to be touched and that refrigerator needs to be cleaned out. Maybe it's the laundry. Them clothes need to be washed and folded. I want to tell you, ladies, right now, this is the energy that you need to tap into. Go ahead and get it organized. Go ahead and get it straightened up, even if you got to pay somebody to come in there and do it. Do what you got to do to create that peace, to create that flow, so that your energy can move the way it's to move, so that you are in tune about what it is that you need to do to make sure that you are aligned with your purpose, with your highest good, with your sacred self. All right? That's that Cancer New Moon energy. I don't got to go too deep into it. It is what it is. Get your house in order right now. Get your body in order right now. Connect with yourself right now. All right? I'm going to leave y'all with that because I got to go get these groceries. Got to cook. Got to do all of that good stuff. Thank y'all for spending this time with me. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all spending this time with me. And listen up, ladies. If anything that I said today you're unsure about, you're unclear on, shoot me an email or book a complimentary call. Do something. I don't ever want to leave you in a state of confusion or in a state of being triggered or bothered. I don't ever want to leave you, ladies, in any space like that. So if anything that I've said today, you got questions about, or you're like, I don't know about that, D-Ray. I don't know. If you have any feelings like that, shoot me a message, leave a comment, book a complimentary call, do something like that, because what I'm speaking to you about today is something that you really need to understand on a very deep, intuitive, and intrinsic level. Okay? It's something that you really have to understand. And I'm going to be teaching you, ladies, exactly how to tune into your body, how to listen to the communication of your body, and how to take action, and how to choose your partners wisely. How to choose partners that are in alignment with your womb wellness. I'm going to be teaching you how to do that. So stay tuned. All the information that you need to know about that will be coming out soon. I'm excited about it, and I'm grateful to be your sacred sister. I'm grateful to be able to share this information with y'all. So we'll be talking soon. Y'all have a happy Tuesday, and enjoy this Cancer energy. Enjoy it. Love on yourself. Love on your home. Nourish yourself. Nourish your kids. Nourish your man. Do what you got to do, ladies. Peace.